like an animal with these cameras all in my grill. Flashing lights, flashing lights. You got me pity, 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 baby, I want you. Nah, nah. Can't keep your eyes off my petty daddy, I want you. Nah, nah.
Love and Hip Hop, Mrs. Tara Wallace. How are you today, darling?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. So once we want to talk about today's event, you know, as we celebrate Christmas, you did a wonderful thing today. We're here celebrating your toy drive right here in Harlem. What inspired the event? What made you want to do a toy drive here in Harlem?
You know, believe it or not, the first place I ever lived in New York was in Harlem. And it was, the thing I love about Harlem is like at any given summer day, you could walk like 5 blocks up from my apartment. Someone's playing a Billie Holiday. There's the museum. Like, it's just so much culture here in Harlem. And I think that sometimes when you even move to the next borough, you don't get a chance to appreciate it. So I think it was like awesome to come back here and do it. Also in this space, I got a chance to speak with the owner. And just, you know, the history and why this place exists, I think is like very female empowering. And that's something that even on a personal level for myself, I think is everything is like for a reason. I think that even me being here is for a reason in this space, not just for the toy drive, but to speak to the owner and things that she's trying to do, and it's uplifting to me and what I'm going through.
Philanthropy seems to kind of be in your spirit. You know, even what we see on this show, you kind of represent that all around woman at home. You're taking care of the kids. You're also trying to pursue your dreams as an actress. And then at the same time, you just have this wonderful, fun-filled spirit. I mean, you're like probably the only cast member that's kind of cool with all of the girls on this show. Talk about that a little bit in terms of your personality. It's very drawing to many people. A lot of the fans, believe it or not, within the triangle of this love affair that you're in, is kind of Team Tara. How have you been doing with that?
You know what? Listen, I have to be honest. It's definitely a different side to me in terms of dealing with this. But it's so important that since I've been going through this, to try and find every positive thing I can and focus on that. Like not being upset or not allowing yourself to get into a very depressed state. It's like a physical, it's a mental choice. Like if I allowed myself to wallow in the pain, then I'd be depressed. But if I get up and I start doing things and putting myself out there and honestly doing this show, it's an opportunity. No matter how negative it is, what's being filmed, it's something that it's a platform, and so you have to choose what you want to say on that platform. So I think that it is so important for me to show that I'm doing other things, and there are people who look at this show and they use me as a, you know, even if I didn't want it to be, if I didn't want to be someone's role model, it is what it is, and you accept that when you sign those papers. So to see me doing other things and to know that it's an active choice to get out and be doing these things, and also the fact that I do have children, I can't allow myself to be a certain way. I have to stay positive, even for them. I'm not just responsible for myself, I'm responsible for them. But I'm just like a fun, free-spirited person in general and just by nature. So I think that helps in terms of my relationships with the other girls on the show. Pretty much all of them. Like something as simple as I like stole some lipstick from one of the makeup artists, and I was like, let me rebuy this lipstick for her, and I found out it was Erica Mena's lipstick, and I was like, this is like the best lipstick I've ever put on my lips. And I'm like, I didn't even know that even while we were filming, and I'm like, I can't wait to tell her how much I love this lip gloss.
You have a great workout. You know, you look great. A lot of people do want to know, do you have a workout regimen that you do? I mean, 2 kids, your body looks great. What is it? What keeps Tara in shape?
Okay, so I have to be completely honest here. Before I had children, I was like a 5-day-a-week gym person. All right? Since I've had the boys, I have not been going to the gym like I should. But I think that people always say, you know, nursing will help you get skinny again. I found that to be the exact opposite. When I'm nursing, I feel like I eat a lot of carbs. But as soon as I stop, then I kind of go back to my natural size, my natural makeup and build. But I also found like trying to eat healthy, especially through all of this, trying to eat healthy as much as I possibly can. Not a lot of water, but working out is something I'm looking forward to getting back into. Like
I'm gonna have to rush because you look great.
My spin class. I want to like build some muscle though. And the good thing about working out as much as you can when you can before you have children is like there's always that muscle memory. So I'm relying on my muscle memory. When I do start working out, I'm relying on it.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about Love and Hip Hop. Okay, as we've seen last weekend, now the new triangle has been open. Peter is going kind of back and forth. Obviously, you've been, woman number one, 13 years in the game with this guy, 2 kids in. Last week we saw a little flip-flop, with the going back and forth. Just as I was asking you off camera, last week we did see Mrs. Tara with Peter Gunz right by her man's side at that Mona Scott holiday party.
So that was a sheer coincidence. Well, we do have 2 children. He still looks out wherever he can. If I need him to do something or take me somewhere, he will still do that. I was actually on my way to my event, which was canceled at the last minute. And so he was on his way to Mona's party. And I said, well, let's just go together. But it was like, we were joking about it in the car, like, uh-oh, it's weird. We don't want people to think we're together. Like, don't talk to me. But, it is what it is. Like, the one thing that is a given and will never change, whether we are together as a couple or not, is that we have 2 children. We will have to learn to co-parent. We will talk to each other on a regular basis. We will see each other on a regular basis. And being a parent doesn't stop at 18. I was still on my father's health insurance until I was 26. So we will always be in each other's lives. So, but I do find it is very important for me to start to learn to forgive him so I can deal with him out of love and not out of anger over what's happened. I'm getting there.
And we do see that you've handled this situation with so much class. I think a lot of people kind of always, just looking from it when you look at the episodes week to week, you kind of see, okay, how does, Tara manage her stress level with everything that's going on? You're dealing with it in the public. You're dealing with behind closed doors. As you said, obviously your children do not watch the show. They don't see it. But obviously you will have to have a sit down with them one day. What would you like to tell other women that are going through this and, and how they can come out of it? Because you're wearing it well. You look great. You're still looking young. You look like you're stress-free. So what would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
I would say that, if you're dealing with something like this, you have to honestly understand that it's not about you. It is about that other person and them not being where they should be in their lives, or you're just on 2 different playing fields. I think becoming a mom, I grew up really quickly. Although I was 31 when I became a mother, I grew up. And I can't allow his choices to bring me down, and also to just focus on the positive. I learned to accept that the years that we did have where I thought we were great and that we were in love, that those years were not in vain. Those years existed while they did, and out of that love, the result are our 2 children. And now to just again, it is like an active choice to come out of that and focus on the positive and find things that you're interested in and really discover who you really are. Because once you discover who you are and moving on to your next relationship, it is like some things you just won't tolerate, and you're able to stop it from the very beginning and not let it linger thinking things are going to get better. But focus on yourself and always remembering to put yourself first in everything.
All right, let's talk about some fun stuff, because Tara's career is popping right now. Tara's popularity has reached through the roof. What's new on the radar for Tara? We know it doesn't stop here. Obviously you have your eyes on Hollywood. So what is going on with Tara right now, and what can the fans expect with Tara coming up?
Oh, you know what? I'm so excited, and I normally when I talk about it, I just say it to people, and they're like, what? But I just booked my first off-Broadway play called Vixens. That should be starting in March, which I'm so excited about. I'm so excited about that. I was more nervous about that audition than I was meeting Love and Hip Hop. I remember in the audition, he was like, can you speak up? I'm like, okay, let me speak up. It was you know what I mean? I remembered me when I first finished graduate school and auditioning and being very nervous. And so I was so excited for that. And to be here again at a point where I can do what I moved here for, which is my craft. What I spent 3 years in graduate school and all these student loans. It's a really good feeling to be that path is there, and I'm stepping on that path, and I'm very excited about that.
Awesome. That's probably one thing that we probably do have in common. I love acting. I'm on the same boat as you. I did off-Broadway. What is your love? Obviously off-Broadway is the more real live, you kind of get to be more connected with the audience, so you get to show real emotion. But are you going for the big screen?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to do TV and film. Always, always, always. And in having my family, I would say, I don't want to say I got sidetracked, but life happened is what I always say. Life happened, and in life happening, you have to support children. Right. And, we all know that acting is a grind and it's a huge sacrifice, but your children can't make that sacrifice for you. They didn't choose that career. I chose that career. So I have to figure out how other ways to make money, use this degree to make money so I can support my children. But the one thing that I can say that I never let die, the dream and the passion for acting never died. And I'm so happy that it never did. And I can comfortably say, even though I did spend some time away from it, it's still in my heart. It's still what I want to do. And the good thing about reality TV is that I also have that, but it opens the door to so many other things that I get a chance to explore. Whether it's writing a book about the relationship, or which is some things that I've been doing, or just exploring just relationships in general, and trying to help women and trying to empower women to start here, focus on yourself sometimes.
I'll give you a little tip, maybe a little bit of also, because you guys do well co-parenting, you and Peter Gunz. I mean, I know that the fans don't give you enough credit for that, obviously, because they're watching the drama.
Right.
But that is definitely something that is the highlight of your relationship. And I think that, maybe you can generate off that. I mean, You may want some PC. I mean, it is a shared advice book. But it's a cute little tip. But
you know what? I don't know what he wants from that, but we'll talk about it. I'll have his lawyer call my lawyer and see what we can do.
Okay. Never know. Also, we have to ask you. I mean, that exchange between you and Amina was like the most hilarious thing.
Oh, the original?
The original. Yes, the original exchange. But no, not even so much that. That was just like a moment. I think everybody was Team Tara. I mean, I think everybody would have kind of threw a fist. But I'm talking about when you kind of let her know that you can kind of get Peter back whenever you felt like it.
Oh my God. I think everyone's seen that commercial. That episode I don't think the episode has aired yet.
Right, it hasn't aired yet. It's
but
just
I
still
did say that.
on it, and we're waiting for that. But I think that's why the rumors kind of speculated whether you guys were still together or not. But it's also good to kind of see that you have been moving on. I mean, Tara's not dating at the moment, is she?
No, she's not. But but speaking of what you're saying, it's like relationships happen in levels, and you break up in levels, especially when you've been together as long as Peter and we've been together. And it's not that I'm not moving on, or that I'm not trying to move on, but sometimes it feels good to in that moment, if we've been hanging out, we're having a good moment, and it ends that way. But then the next day, reality is still there.
Right.
And so you still continue to progress forward. As long as I feel like, as long as the goal is very clear of what you need to do, you know what I mean, and nothing stands in the way of that, then you have to keep pressing forward. And it's just very human to go back sometimes. And I chose to share that. I didn't have to share that with the cameras. I could have said, no, this is over and that's that.
Right.
I chose to share that because I would never want someone to think that because they did that, then they're back in that situation. They have to accept it. No, I did this. I did that for me. But I'm still moving forward.
Okay.
It doesn't make it right. But I'm still moving forward.
I know. I mean, there was some moments where we was like, oh, Tara. But then there's also moments where we see that we're all human. I mean, we've all been in relationships. And I think that speaks volumes to just you being able to be so authentic on camera. It's very hard to kind of go through the emotions as well as the drama all at the same time. But you've been handling it well with class.
The one thing that I always worry about is it seems like he and I are always fighting. And I'm like, no one ever, because of where it started, people don't see the love, and there's a lot of love between the two of us, and a lot of love that I had for this man. And I think that sometimes, because of where it started playing out in our relationship, that was never got, you know what I mean? So, but when those moments happen, it's because that love existed, and it's still very real.
All right, awesome. Well, you just heard it here from Mrs. Love and Hip Hop herself, Mrs. Tara Wallace. I mean, I don't think there's anything else that we can ask this woman. This woman is doing it all right now. Philanthropy, she's acting. Broadway show is coming up next. She's on television. We have how many more episodes of Love and Hip Hop coming up?
I think we have like 5 or 6 more episodes, and that includes the reunion show.
All right, and so that means we need to stay tuned. We are re-airing next week?
We are on the 30th, so be ready for the 30th. And that one scene you just talked about, I think that's what we're going to see. Hi, my name is Tara Wallace from Love and Hip Hop, and you've just been served from That Plum TV.